Christ is risen. Truly he is risen. This is Christopher Hondros, and we're glad to be back with you again as we are near the halfway point between Pascha and Pentecost, looking toward the Sunday of the Samaritan women. In order for this coming Sunday, according to our church typikon, which is the order for all services and hymns to be sung in a Vespers, Matins, liturgy, or any other service, there are two hymns in the same mode that we want to focus on this Sunday, and these are the Apolytikion, or dismissal hymn of mid-Pentecost, as you see here, and the Kontakion of Pascha, which you see here. These are both in the plagal fourth mode, but they're actually different compared to the doxastikon for the paralytic that we looked at last week in several different ways. One difference is that a doxastikon, like the one we reviewed last week, is a longer hymn, meant to be chanted slowly, and an Apolytikion, or a Kontakion, are generally shorter and chanted more quickly. The other difference that we want to talk about today is how these are a special class of plagal fourth hymns, that instead of being based on ni, or C, they're actually based on ra, a fourth interval up, which is an F. And more than that, as we've discussed before, modes in Byzantine music concern more than just simply the scale of a hymn that it's in, but also characteristic melodic phrases that are proper to the modes and notes that the hymns revolve around. For instance, we have other ga-based modes in Byzantine music, third mode and grave mode, but these behave differently. For instance, if you watch our video, also being published this week, on the third mode trisayon, you will see that it is based on Ra, or F, but has a completely different characteristic than both this Apolytikion for mid-Pentecost and this Kontakion of the resurrection. So now let's look at these two hymns. We first chanted the Kontakion of Pascha on Pascha Sunday, and we chanted the Apolytikion in mid-Pentecost the very first time this previous Tuesday, May 12th, for the feast that was on Wednesday, May 13th, the feast of mid-Pentecost. This upcoming Sunday, both of these hymns are going to be chanted after the small entrance, which is the entrance of the Gospels, during the Divine Liturgy this coming Sunday. Now let's look at the music. Here we see both hymns set in the plagal fourth mode, as you can see here. And the symbol, especially in Byzantine music, directs us to pitch up a fourth, right here, or in other words, jump from ni to ra, and make ra our starting note. However, we're not just starting three notes up, but we are transposing our entire scale such that we are at the pitch level of ra, and ga has now transformed to the base note of the scale, which is ni. So let's sing this all together, and we will begin with our apihima. O Lord, midway through the feast, give drink to my thirsty soul, from the living waters of right belief. You, O Savior, proclaim to everyone, let whoever is thirsty to come to me and drink. You are the fountain of life, O Christ our God, glory to you. Did you notice how we sang the phrases waters of right belief and come to me and drink the same exact way? This is one of those characteristic defining phrases for this particular flavor of the plagal fourth mode. Watch closely. Now we are going to sing the Kontakion of Pascha. And I will zoom this in a little bit so you can all see. Though you went down into the tomb, O immortal one, yet you brought down the dominion of Hades, and you rose as the victor, O Christ our God, and you called out, rejoice, to the myrrh-bearing women, and gave peace to your apostles, O Lord, who to the fallen grant resurrection. Did it sound almost exactly the same as the Apolytikion for mid-Pentecost? It should have. While the text of the hymn is slightly longer, it has the same melodic shape, and if we look at the phrase, O immortal one, or dominion of Hades, or myrrh-bearing women, we have the same musical idea. Did you notice also on the ending of the Kontakion how that differs? This is what we call a final ending. Do you know why we use a final ending on that Kontakion? If you said because it signals to the clergy that it's their turn to pray the next litany, then you are correct. This is the final hymn chanted after the small entrance, and the clergy will then pray the litany, which leads us into the Trisagion hymn at this point in the Divine Liturgy. Thank you for being with us again, and we are grateful to share the hymns of the Church with you and wish you a great day. Christ is risen.